A meteor hit Ohio today. It was going 45,000 miles an hour, 6-foot diameter, 7 tons. Sonic boom hitting the ground so loud that people in Virginia and Kentucky could hear it. That happened today. I'm dead ass. It happened today. Now, in my expert opinion being developed 10 minutes ago when I looked it up, meteors are often hitting the Earth. I don't think this is to this degree. From my understanding, it is little ones that people don't really notice, not sonic boom ones. I don't think that's normal. I really need this year to chill out. Do you know these NASA scientists have the nerve to say 45,000 miles an hour is slow for a meteor? I don't think they found it yet. But I will say, if you can scoot on over to DC next time and hit 16.
So I'm watching the news tonight, and evidently a meteor fell and hit a house here in Spring, Texas tonight. They said the meteor was going up to 45,000 miles per hour. It hit the lady's roof, went through her roof, came through her ceiling, her bedroom ceiling, fell on the floor, bounced on the floor, hit the ceiling again, and then bounced on her dresser next to the TV. That amount of force and the rock looked like it was about that big. It's a solid rock. So imagine something that's solid bouncing on the floor, coming through the roof, coming through your ceiling in your bedroom next to your fan there, coming through, bouncing on the floor, hitting the ceiling again, and then bouncing next to the TV on your dresser. So she said she called the fire department, and it was confirmed that it was a piece of a meteor. And she said that she's a sci-fi person. Yeah, it's crazy how it would hit a person since it's sci-fi, but she's a sci-fi person, and she said she's definitely keeping it for herself. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't know if they're gonna let you keep it. I don't know. It seems like they probably want to keep it and study it for scientific purposes. I don't know. But the scary part is that was one isolated event. What if, who's to say, or what if we have a meteor shower one day, or, or a lot of those, or a bunch of them come down at one time? Because if one comes down like that, and I know this is not the first one, I know, but it's kind of scary to think, something with such force could come down in multiples one day, and what I'm trying to say, like a lot of, at one time, like a shower. That would be horrible, like horrible. And I'm sure it probably has happened before, but thinking about what this lady just went through, how it's so forceful that it can come through your ceiling. She said she just heard a loud boom, and a lot of people today seen the meteor going across the sky today as well. I was just watching KHOU news, and they featured it on there, so I'm sure it's on the news here in Houston. So y'all look it up. It's crazy, man. Because if it was somebody in that room asleep, or, in the way of that rock, they wouldn't have made it. Not with that kind of force, they wouldn't have made it. So I'm glad everybody was safe in their house.
interesting.
Quiet, please.
A little bit. Why would they be going down like that? They're still moving too. And that one's decelerating. Do you see that one? It just split into two.
What's happening?
Yeah.
I am a veteran of the United States Army. I served my country for 15 years until they medically retired me due to things that happened to me in Iraq. As a soldier who had boots on the ground in a combat zone and witnessed the night sky when things popped off, I am telling you, you all are being lied to about these meteors that are coming into our atmosphere that have now fell over California, over Houston, over Ohio, over Maryland. But oddly enough, the only proof that we have so far of any type of meteor breaking our atmosphere, actual physical proof, is the one that happened in Houston. So I can say out of the 3 events that have happened, possibly one of them is true. Possibly one. This isn't to fearmonger. This isn't to scare anybody. This is to get you to start asking questions and start paying attention to what your government is doing. I need people to put their thinking caps on. Israel and Iran are in some serious, serious shit. And once again, the United States have found themselves smack dab in the middle of Middle Eastern politics. Once again, we are smack dab in the middle of it. And we're on the wrong fucking side of things this time. Now, if you think Iran is bluffing about what they got and what they can do to the United States and to Israel, oh, honey, you are sorely mistaken. And I mean that with my whole fucking chest. As somebody who has been in a combat zone, as somebody who has been over there, as somebody who studies Middle Eastern politics, I'm telling you, you guys, don't take them as an idle threat. And I think, as of right now, our government is trying to find our weak spots. And I need you all to start paying attention, and I need you all to start asking more questions.
Y'all do know it's not meteors, right? That they're reporting dropping in from our atmosphere the last few days, and honestly, it's been for the last few months, even before the war started over in Iran. And what it is satellites. All the time we are upping our technology, and a lot of people think when we're done with the satellite, we just shoot it out of orbit, and all that would do was cause mass amounts of space debris. Even something as small as this, traveling at about 20,000 miles per hour, it's going to do some damage to craft or humans. So what we do is we just redial its trajectory, let it slowly fall back into the atmosphere. That's the more likely answer. But why you're seeing it happen more often now, in the last 3 to 4 weeks, is because of the escalation in the Middle East. We are actively taking down enemy satellites, and vice versa. They're taking ours down. You can hack these things. It's not too difficult if you know what you're doing as far as that occupation goes or that line of work. We have something called Space Force. That's what they specialize in, is low Earth orbit or high Earth orbit things like satellites, tracking ICBMs, shuttles, rockets, missiles. All of that falls into the space forum, and we have a whole military wing dedicated to that. So it's more than likely not meteors, it's satellites being taken down or being replaced. And in the last 3 weeks that we've seen so many now, it's satellites being taken down by us and our enemies. So it's not space aliens, it's not plasma balls, it's not drones from outer space aliens. It's us just doing space warfare. That's all. So what if the meteors that we're seeing in the sky actually aren't meteors and it's more so a nuclear missile test run by the United States? And hear me out, because we've done this before. We've sent simulated ICBMs with nuclear warheads up into orbit and tested our countermeasure, our defense capability, okay? And if you haven't seen my previous video, I'm still pretty much determined this is really satellites either being sabotaged or purposefully brought down for procedural purposes. But for the sake of public knowledge, let's just explore this option really quick. So with the war in the Middle East and Iran specifically escalating and now Russia getting involved, we have always had fears of nuclear threat here in the United States since the Cold War, and we've done test runs. Let's say, because we've done this before, okay, we send up a simulated missile, an ICBM. And when you try to hit these things, here's an illustration to show you, you want to get to it before it actually reaches its final stage of the boosters and everything separating and the warheads falling back down to Earth to hit their target. What if we didn't hit the warheads, which really you don't want to, but you want to aim for the propulsion system? Let's say we slightly missed. Okay, and here's an illustration of what we use as our countermeasures. It's called an EKV, an exo-atmospheric kill vehicle. It doesn't explode. It's just shot at really fast speeds to just tear the object apart. What if, while that happened, the propulsion system of the simulated ICBM was still shooting off? Okay, because we see a lot of videos where seemingly these meteors falling down to Earth are carrying some strange flight plan, weird trajectory. Meteors go straight down. Satellites kind of go at an angle and burn off slowly. But what we're seeing are some really weird mixes of both. So just to entertain the idea, what if this was an ICBM test run by the United States, and we're just seeing debris fall back down to Earth? Because how it's supposed to work is you're gonna hit the ICBM with your countermeasure, your EKV, and then eventually it'll fall back down to Earth, like in the next 12 to 40 days, sometimes a year, depending on how far the debris goes out. Because remember, you're hitting it as it's going up. So the debris is supposed to go up, but if they hit it and it splits in half, but the propulsion system is still going, shoots back down to Earth. That's what I'm saying. So that in itself is pretty fucking terrifying, though. The U.S. testing nuclear missiles now. We're already testing nuclear bombs in Utah. We have been for like 5 years, but now missile capabilities. That's fun.